Salve shenanigans, this is Shannon, and I bet you're wondering why I am dressed like a Renaissance festival prostitute. No, I haven't taken up a new profession. Today is the Ides of March, and I decided this is my best recreation, approximation, and homage to Roman attire. And while the Ides of March has absolutely no bearing today, in current year, the day became notorious in 44 BC with the assassination of Julius Caesar on the Senate floor. Now, why that is so important today is because with Caesar died the Roman Republic and gave birth and gave the rise to the Roman Empire, which not only is it one of my favorite historical periods to study, but it was one of the greatest societies in history. So I thought I would take the opportunity today to talk a little bit about one of the most interesting historical events ever, and also about one of my favorite pieces of historical fiction ever, which is Rome. This was a show that was on HBO, one of my all-time favorite shows. I own all of it. I will watch it over and over and over and over, and I have done many times. Yes, it is fiction. Yes, there are so many inaccuracies, but it actually was one of the most accurate shows as far as the sets and the costumes. So I figured I'd talk a little bit about that as well. Now, to understand the importance of the assassination, you need to know a little bit about the man. Julius Caesar was, first and foremost, a soldier. He was a general, and he and another man named Pompey were co-consuls of the Roman Republic. But Caesar had gone up to Gaul, and he stayed up there, and he just got richer and richer and richer, living off that land, pillaging that land, and had the loyalty of the people. So the Senate and Pompey got really, really, really concerned. And they all decide we should do something about Caesar. And instead of doing something about Caesar, they know he's coming and they don't have time to get all of their legions together. And he has his legions all together ready to go because they've been, warring for years and years. The Senate flees, Pompey flees, they, act like it's a tactical retreat, and Caesar's legions cross the Rubicon from the north into Rome, which is why that is a saying today. It's when you cross the Rubicon, there's no turning back. When he crossed that river into Rome, it was a declaration that there was no turning back, that he was coming to seize power. And that really pissed off a lot of senators. In fact, all of them for a while. And so that kind of led to Caesar being dictator for a while. So Cassius and Brutus led possibly 60 co-conspirators to get together and decide to murder Caesar. And they decided to do it in the Forum, on the Senate floor, as a public statement that they were going to save the Republic. And all they ended up doing was leaving a vacuum that Caesar's heir, Caesar Augustus, to become the first Roman emperor. And thus democracy fell, the empire rose, and the conquest of a good chunk of the earth really began. It's pretty cool when you think about it. I mean, it's sad and it sucks for Caesar, but it's pretty cool. Now to the TV show. Rome started in 2005 and ran to 2007, and I will get to why the run of that show was so abysmally short. So it began, the premise was you have these two soldiers, Lucius Vorenus and Titus Pullo, and those were two actual historical people that did exist. but we don't really know in what context they existed. We don't know much about them. But they were basically two names pulled from history, minor people, and their job is, we follow them mostly through these historical events. And yes, there's a lot of historical inaccuracy because they had to compress for time. So a lot of things that were happening years and years apart are happening at the same time, stuff like that. But this production was one of the most, I think it was the most expensive production of any show at that point in history, because they built such detailed and such accurate sets of what Rome really looked like. I mean, ancient Roman architecture, and it's just beautiful, and I'm really sad about it because the downfall of the show was its budget. It was so expensive for HBO. It was a team effort of HBO and BBC, and they built these sets in Italy, and part of them burned down, but there was this new show coming along that needed the budget, and that is Game of Thrones. And it's actually pretty entertaining. The actor who played Mark Antony was quoted when Game of Thrones came out. He said, "Wow, they stole our show." So it's very sad that the show was abysmally short. The show begins with the death of Julius Caesar's daughter in childbirth. She was married to Pompey, who was the co-consul of Rome. So once she died, there was a complete split between Pompey and Caesar. That was the last connection they had, and they had to compress so much history towards the end because of them canceling the show, that they had to fit like 20 years into one season. And that was really, really detrimental to story because they had to fit almost all of it into about 2 episodes at the end of the last season, and really suffered. But if you love a show that is full of drama and intrigue and just some of the best acting I've ever seen, and lots of sex, lots of brutal violence, like, I will never hear the number 13 ever the same way again. And if you watch the show, you will know what I'm talking about. It's amazing, and seriously, it's available. If you have Amazon Prime, you can stream it for free. I really, really, really recommend this show. I think it's better than, what Game of Thrones probably turned out to be. I have a vendetta against Game of Thrones because it stole my show. But if you can, this Ides of March, celebrate, think about the rise of the Roman Empire and the death of the Republic, and celebrate by go checking out Rome. It's an amazing show, and if you're into stuff like that, period dramas that are really sexy, but also really, really violent and really, really well written and well acted by some of the world's best actors, seriously, check out Rome. I seriously cannot endorse it enough. Anyway, guys, that should about do it for today. I'm sorry about glossing over history and stuff like that. I know there's a lot of people who would like to, get into some of Sargon's, alternate videos that he does about history sometimes, where it's just, full of facts and dates and all of that, but I can't keep that all in my head right now. I just wanted to give you an overview. I will be leaving a couple Wikipedia links. Yeah, I know Wikipedia, don't judge me. It's pretty good for historical stuff like this. So I'll be leaving some just in the description below. I also wanted to make a few announcements. First off, after months of fighting, my channel is finally monetized again. Will that mean this video is monetized? Probably not, because I held a letter opener in it that looks kind of like a dagger. So, it probably won't be monetized, but the channel is monetized again. So, if you want, go check out my backlog, watch some videos, whatever, that'd be cool. If you'd like to support what I do here, check out my Patreon. You know, I have a PayPal if you'd like to do something on a more one-time basis. I have a maker support if you hate Patreon. I have an Amazon wish list if you want to get me stupid crap to wear in videos. Also, speaking of videos, yeah, I have a little bit more going on today than I usually do, and I'm really excited about that. This is the beginnings of a new setup. These are actually not going to stay. I got them for another purpose, which is going to be coming to fruition very shortly. My creepy channel that I have been talking about and wanting to do is finally going to be up and running here in the next couple weeks. I'm really excited about it. I'm going to be going over folklore and crazy unexplained things and crime and disasters and stuff like that. So I'm really excited about that. So if you want to check out, the link to that channel will be in the description. It's called Under the Veil. So please check it out. I'm really excited for that. Also, with this new setup, please give me a little bit of leeway as far as it goes with sound and how things look. I'm still working on that. I just got a new microphone. I have a new Blue Yeti. I'm still trying to figure out the settings. It's a little bit daunting, but I think it'll be okay. So let me know how the sound is. And on a final note, I'm going to be changing my outro here after this video. Our beloved white and gray rabbit, Mayhem Shadows, passed away. So I'm going to be taking her out of the outro, but I wanted to leave her in this one last time to say goodbye to her. So thank you everyone who saw me talking about it on Twitter and left very kind words. My husband is taking it pretty hard. She was basically his therapy animal. So yeah, thank you. All right, that's it. Sorry I went off the rails there a little bit. Until next time, guys, this is Shannon, and yeah, thanks for watching.